comes a point where you have to stop asking yourself, what do I want? And start asking, what am I willing to do? Because wanting is easy. Everyone wants something, a better life, more confidence, more money, more strength, more freedom, more respect. Everyone has a picture in their head of the person they could become. But then the alarm rings, and suddenly the dream isn't so important anymore. 5 more minutes, 1 more video, 1 more day, tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And one day, you look around and realize you've been talking about becoming someone for years, but you never became them, not because you couldn't, because you were never fully committed. You were everywhere except where your life was actually happening. And maybe that's what you need to hear today. Not another comforting speech, not another excuse, not another reason why you're different. You need to hear the truth, lock in, because nobody is coming to force you to become who you could have been. Look at your life honestly, not the version you show people, not the version you imagine, the real one. Where does your attention go? What do you think about when nobody is telling you what to think about? Where do your hours disappear? How often do you say you're going to do something and then don't? You already know. That's the uncomfortable part. You don't need someone to explain your problems to you. You know where you're weak. You know what you've been avoiding. You know which habits are holding you back. You know the promises you've broken. And you've probably become very good at explaining them. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'll start when things settle down. I've got time. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. But one thing is certain. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It keeps moving, whether you use it or waste it, whether you're ready or not, whether you lock in or remain exactly where you are. You've probably told yourself, I just need more time. No, you need more focus, because someone can have 12 hours and accomplish less than someone with 3 focused hours. The problem isn't always the amount of time you have. It's what you do with the time you already have. You sit down to do something important, and your mind immediately searches for an escape. Something easier, something more entertaining, something that gives you a reward without demanding anything from you. And every time you give in, you become a little more comfortable with giving in. That's how weakness grows, not dramatically, quietly, one choice at a time. Here's the frightening part. Nobody has to control you. You can do it yourself. You can waste your own time. You can sabotage your own progress. You can keep yourself entertained until you forget what you were supposed to become, and the world will happily let you. Because the world doesn't need you to become great. It doesn't need you to fulfill your potential. It doesn't lose sleep when you waste another year. You do. Eventually. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But there comes a moment when you realize the cost of all those small decisions. And the worst part isn't the time you lost. It's knowing you were there when you lost it. Locking in isn't some magical state. It's a decision. A decision that says, for this period of my life, this matters, and because it matters, you protect it, you protect your attention, you protect your time, you protect your standards, you stop allowing every distraction to negotiate with your future. That doesn't mean becoming emotionless. It doesn't mean abandoning everyone. It doesn't mean destroying yourself. It means knowing what matters and refusing to treat it casually, because if everything matters, nothing matters. If every notification deserves your attention, your goals won't get any. If every desire deserves to be satisfied, discipline becomes impossible. At some point, you have to choose. Focus has a price. You have to say no. No to things that aren't evil. No to things that aren't even bad. Just not important right now. That's harder because distractions don't always look like distractions. Sometimes they look like harmless entertainment. Sometimes they look like just checking something. Sometimes they look like another conversation, another hour, another night, another excuse. And none of them seem dangerous by themselves. That's why they're dangerous. A life rarely gets destroyed in one dramatic moment. It gets slowly diluted, a little here, a little there, until years later, you realize you spent your strongest years scattered. Think about the person you could become if you stopped dividing your attention, if you actually gave your goals your full effort, not for one day, not for 1 week, but long enough for the results to become undeniable. Imagine the difference. Not because you suddenly became gifted, but because you finally stopped interrupting yourself. Every day, you put another brick down, another and another and another. Eventually, you have a wall, then a house, then something you once thought was impossible is simply your life. That's what consistency looks like. It doesn't feel powerful while you're doing it. It feels ordinary, almost boring. But ordinary actions, repeated long enough, create extraordinary outcomes. Maybe that's the real turning point. Not when someone motivates you, but when you're finally exhausted by your own excuses. When you hear yourself say, tomorrow, and something inside you says no, not angrily, not dramatically, just no more, because you've heard that promise before, you've made it before, and then you broke it. So this time, don't make another promise. Make a decision. Don't announce it. Don't tell everyone. Don't need applause. Just change what you do. Quietly, let the results make the announcement, and understand something. Locking in doesn't mean you'll never fall off. You will. You'll have bad days. You'll lose focus. You'll get tired. You'll make mistakes. That's not failure. Failure is deciding that one bad day gives you permission to return to your old life. You don't need perfection. You need return. Fall away. Come back. Lose focus. Come back. Fail. Come back. Every time, because eventually coming back becomes who you are. So ask yourself right now, with no one else around, what would happen if I actually locked in? Not imagined it, not talked about it, not planned it, actually did it. What would change? Where would you be 6 months from now, 1 year, 3 years? What would disappear? What would you become? And more importantly, what would you regret if you didn't? Because one day, this moment will be history. This exact version of you will be gone. And you'll either look back with gratitude or with questions. Why didn't I start? Why did I waste so much time? Why did I know what I needed to do and still refuse to do it? You don't want to meet that version of yourself. So, lock in, not tomorrow, not when life becomes easier, not when motivation arrives, now. Because your future isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's being built by what you do while you're still not ready. And if you're serious, then this is where it begins. Not with a speech, not with a promise, with the next decision, and the decision after that, and the one after that, until there is nothing left to negotiate. And that's the part nobody can do for you. Nobody can make the decision for you. They can encourage you, they can advise you, they can tell you what you're capable of, but eventually you have to be the one who acts, because there is a version of your life that only exists if you decide to pursue it. And there is another version that exists if you continue exactly as you are. Both futures are possible. The difference is what you do now. Maybe you've been waiting until you're more confident, waiting until you're less afraid, waiting until you have more money, waiting until you know exactly what you're doing, waiting until everything feels right. But life doesn't work that way. There is rarely a moment when everything lines up perfectly. There is always another problem, another responsibility, another uncertainty, another reason to wait. And if you keep waiting for the perfect conditions, you can spend your entire life waiting. At some point, you have to move while things are imperfect. You have to build while you're uncertain. You have to begin while you're inexperienced. You have to walk into the unknown without knowing exactly where the road ends. That's what courage actually looks like, not the absence of fear. Movement despite it. You might feel stuck, but sometimes you're not stuck. You're comfortable. There's a difference. Being stuck means you genuinely don't know what to do. Being comfortable means you know, but you don't want to do it. You know you should wake up earlier. You know you should study. You know you should practice. You know you should take care of yourself. You know you should stop wasting hours. You know you should finally begin. The information isn't missing, the decision is. And that's why another video won't save you. Another motivational quote won't save you. Another plan won't save you. At some point, you have to close the screen and go do the thing. People may support you. Some will believe in you. Some will even push you. But they have their own lives, their own problems, their own goals. They cannot carry your ambition for you, and you shouldn't expect them to, because your future is your responsibility. If you don't protect it, who will? If you don't take your goals seriously, why should anyone else? If you constantly tell yourself that your dreams aren't important, eventually you'll believe it. So stop waiting for somebody to give you permission. You don't need permission to become disciplined. You don't need permission to improve. You don't need permission to take your life seriously. You need a decision. Everybody loves the beginning. The first day, the new plan, the new notebook, the new routine, the feeling that everything is about to change. But that feeling disappears. And then comes Tuesday, then Wednesday, then another ordinary morning. No excitement, no dramatic transformation, just work. And this is where people quit, because they expected transformation to feel extraordinary. It doesn't. Most of the time, it feels ordinary. You wake up, you do what needs to be done. You repeat it, you improve slightly, you repeat it again. Nobody notices, and you do it anyway. That's the part that separates people. Not intensity, repetition. There should come a point where your old habits stop feeling comfortable, where wasting another evening doesn't feel relaxing anymore. It feels expensive. Where another excuse doesn't feel harmless. It feels familiar. Where another month without progress doesn't feel normal. It feels unacceptable. Not because you hate yourself, because you've finally seen what you're capable of. Once you see the possibility, it's difficult to be satisfied with less. You realize, I could be so much further ahead. And instead of using that thought to punish yourself, use it to move. You cannot change yesterday, but you can make sure tomorrow doesn't look exactly the same. There won't always be someone standing beside you. There won't always be motivation. There won't always be encouragement. There won't always be someone telling you, keep going. Sometimes it's just you and your decision. That's why you have to learn how to continue without applause, how to work without recognition, how to stay focused when nobody is watching. Because if you only work when people are watching, you're not disciplined. You're performing. Real discipline appears in private, when nobody would know if you stopped, when nobody would know if you cheated yourself, when nobody would know if you quit, except you. And that's enough. There's a version of you that exists when nobody is watching. That's the version you need to build. Because your public image doesn't matter if your private habits contradict it. You can tell everyone you're ambitious, but your habits know the truth. You can say you want greatness, but your choices know the truth. You can say you want change, but your routine knows the truth. Your life eventually becomes a reflection of what you repeatedly do, not what you repeatedly say. So stop trying to convince people. Convince yourself. And the only way to do that is through action. Not impressive, not admired, proud. There is a difference. You don't need everyone to look at you and think, he's disciplined. You need to be alone at night, look back at your day, and know, I did what I said I would do. That feeling is different because you know the truth. You know how many times you wanted to quit. You know how many excuses appeared. You know how easy it would have been to walk away, and you didn't. That's where self-respect comes from. Not from talking about what you're going to do, from proving to yourself that you can trust yourself. You don't need to fix your entire life tonight. That's another trap. People create 20 goals, 10 habits, 5 routines, and then wonder why they can't maintain any of them. Choose what matters most. Give it your attention, protect it, build around it. One target, one direction, one period of your life where you stop scattering yourself everywhere. Because a scattered mind creates a scattered life. You cannot chase everything. You cannot become everyone. You cannot live every possible life. You have to choose. And once you choose, commit. Imagine 6 months pass. Nothing magical happened. You simply stayed consistent. You studied when you needed to study. You trained when you needed to train. You practiced. You learned. You slept. You recovered. You said no when you needed to say no. You stopped allowing every impulse to control your schedule. And now, you're different. Not perfect. Different. Your confidence is different. Your discipline is different. Your standards are different. Because you have evidence. You've seen what happens when you keep your word. And then imagine the alternative. 6 months pass and nothing changes. Same habits, same excuses, same distractions, same promises, same person. That's the terrifying thing about time. It passes either way. The question isn't whether 6 months will pass. They will. The question is, who will be standing there when they do? And maybe that's the question you've been avoiding. Not, can I? But, will I? Will you? When nobody is watching? When it's boring? When it's difficult? When the results are slow? When your friends don't understand? When you don't feel motivated? When you fail? When you have to start again? Will you? Because anyone can say yes while they're inspired. The real answer comes later, when the excitement disappears. That's when you'll find out. There are seasons in life where you need to socialize. There are seasons where you need to rest. There are seasons where you need to explore. And there are seasons where you need to build. Maybe you're in one of those seasons now. Maybe you need to stop trying to live 10 different lives at once. Maybe you need a period of focus, a period where you become less interested in being seen and more interested in becoming, less interested in explaining and more interested in executing, less interested in what everyone else is doing and more interested in what you're supposed to do. You don't have to disappear from the world. You just have to stop letting the world decide where your attention goes. Because one day, this season will end. You'll have other responsibilities, other opportunities, other problems, other people depending on you. And you'll look back at this period and realize that was the time I had to build myself. Don't waste it. Don't romanticize the future so much that you neglect the present. The future isn't somewhere you eventually arrive. You're creating it right now. So lock in. Not for attention, not to prove everyone wrong, not because you hate your current life. Lock in because you respect the life you could build, because you know there's more in you, and because you are tired of seeing that potential remain potential. Potential means nothing if it never becomes action. Talent means nothing if you never use it. Knowledge means nothing if you never apply it. Plans mean nothing if you never begin. You don't need another plan. You need execution. And when the excitement fades, stay. When the results are slow, stay. When you doubt yourself, stay. When you fail, learn and stay. When nobody notices, stay. Because the people who eventually look overnight successful usually spent years becoming impossible to ignore. Quietly, patiently, consistently. And perhaps that's what your next chapter needs to be. Quiet, focused, uncomfortable, unrecognized, but relentlessly moving forward. So when you close this video, don't just feel inspired. Do something. Because inspiration that never becomes action is just another form of entertainment. Take the energy you feel right now and turn it into a decision. Then turn the decision into action. Then repeat it until action becomes habit. Until habit becomes character. Until character becomes your life. And one day, you won't need anyone to tell you to lock in. You won't need another motivational video. You won't need another reminder, because discipline won't feel like something you're forcing. It will simply be who you are. And that's when things become dangerous. Because once a person knows exactly what they want and becomes willing to work patiently for it, distractions lose their power. Excuses lose their power. Fear loses its power. And the person who once kept asking, "What if I could?" finally starts saying, "Watch me." But don't say it out loud. Don't announce it. Don't explain yourself. Just begin and let the next 6 months speak for you. Because this isn't the moment where your life changes. It's the moment you decide to change what you do with it. And that decision